All right, so we're gonna go ahead and role play the dropping down section of the Cutco demo. So I'm gonna go ahead and share the screen. We're gonna go to slide number 30 here. We're gonna start basically from right here. Full screen mode. All right, what you're not gonna be able to see on the recording here is the fact that I'm going to be showing the prices in basically from my notebook during the demo. So all right, so we're starting from the middle of page 10, where it says, if you were considering us at a Cutco, would you prefer it with the table knives? So we're going to pretend like the customer says yes. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and write down +8 on my paper. And I'm going to write down the price, which is $16.13 or $3.52. Okay. All right, Mrs. Jones. Well, the great thing is that it doesn't cost $4,000. In fact, it doesn't even cost as much as the Wusthof price of $3,015. The Homemaker +8 set is only $16.13. Paid in full, which includes shipping, but most of our customers take advantage of the 5-month interest-free easy pay option, which is only $352. And that includes tax. Now, we have a bonus where if you get it today, I can either give you the kitchen tool set, the entertainer pack, or the Super Shears for free. Which of those 3 options would you prefer? Super Shears. I'm going to go ahead and put those in the chat box. And I'm going to write that in here in my notes. So bonus is going to be the shears. All right, Mrs. Jones, so I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't ask you. Would you like to try out the Homemaker set today and get your free shears? Now, at that point, obviously, one of 2 things are going to happen. If they say yes, great, close them up. If they say no, I'm going to say no problem. Do you mind if I ask, what is it about the Homemaker you're unsure of? Now, that's if they don't give you the actual reason up front. So let's just say, oh, it's just a little bit too much money. I can't afford it. Be like, hey, by the way, it's no problem. I don't know if you'd be interested in this, but you could actually if you could live without the table knives, I can actually do the basic Homemaker set for only $12.69. And then that's the only time I click on the second option, or $278. And you could still get the shears for free. How does that sound? If they say no, no problem. Next is our galley set. So it's a perfect starter set and it'll take care of all your needs. So as you can see, and I turn on my laser pointer, it comes with a paring knife for the air, trimmer for the small stuff, spatula for sandwiches, serving piece, a meat knife, veggie chopper, a slicer, and then it has the 6 table knives. So this is a few less knives for a lot less money. So instead of paying $16.13 for the Homemaker set, galley +6 is only $11.59 or $254 on the 5-pay. And I'm going to go ahead and write that on my notes as well. And if you get that today, you can still get the shears for free. Is that something you want to go ahead and do? If they say yes, great. If they say no, no problem. A lot of people prefer to go to our starter sets. So these next 2 slides show our starter sets. Getting one of these allows you to get what you need today, and you can actually always upgrade to a bigger wood block and a bigger set later. So first is the Essentials +5. This comes with 5 table knives, the chef, petite carver, turning fork, spatula, and the paring knife. And then you have the studio set, which is 4 table knives instead, spatula, petite carver, trimmer, and the paring knife. Okay, now I like to break it up into 2 slides. So between these 2 sets, which one do you like better? So let's say they say the Essentials +5. Okay, so let's hold on to that one. There's also a couple of other starter sets just in case. So we've got the Space Saver, the Kitchenette set, the All Night set, and the Gourmet. So between these two, which of these do you like the best? Or do you still like the Essentials plus 5?
I like the Essentials.
The Essentials plus 5. Okay. Awesome. Well, that one is only $905, or how much is on the 5K? I thought you guys were with me. Page 13.
198.
Or 198 on the 5K. And this one I'm going to put into the chat box. So that set is only 905 or 198 on the 5Pay. And if you get this today, I can still give you those super shears for free. How does that sound? Too much money. No problem. A lot of people prefer to customize their own set. So we can actually customize your own set and I can still give you some free stuff. Let's go ahead and make a list of the 5 pieces that you see yourself using the most. So at this point, the customer is going to spit out 5 knives, right? So let's say they picked out the spatula. They picked out the petite carver. They picked out the butcher knife. They picked out the slicer. And they picked out the cheese knife. All right, so I'm going to time out here real quick. So let's say the customer at this point says, you know what, I'm probably not going to buy anything. Or the customer says, you know what, I definitely want to get that homemaker. Or the customer says anything at all that's related to a non-buying question. So Abby, this happened to you on your appointment. So this is what you want to do every single time, no matter what. Hey, no problem. Do you mind if I go through the rest of the options? Because it really helps me with my training. Remember, like I mentioned at the beginning of the thing, we don't care how much you sell. We care that you're doing your training.
Yeah,
And so the reason I'm mentioning this, Abby, is because this, I want you to just make one list versus one for each customer. Again, keep the system always the same thing. All right. So at this point, if you guys want to do this with me on the Cutco Orders app, you can make sure that we're getting the right numbers. All right. So if you guys want to open up the app, I'm going to go ahead and enter the 5 knives into the mix. All right. So say spatula spreader, petite carver, butcher knife, slicer, and then the regular cheese knife, the traditional one. It's fine. Oh crap, I had some other stuff already in there. I'm recording this, right? All right. Delete that. One butcher knife. And then get rid of the paring. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead, first of all, and write down the prices on my notes. Special number 1. And put down the spatula. Petite carver. Butcher knife. slicer. And the cheese knife. And the reason I'm gonna put them in the chat box is because that way, when I ask the customer later, which one knife can you live without, they'll know which 5 knives we're talking about. Okay, so special number 1 is gonna be, let's see. So I just put the prices in the chat box. All right, Mrs. Jones. Now, if you get these 5 knives today, I can give you a pair of super shears or 4 table knives for free. Which one of those do you like? They say, oh, the 4 table knives. Great. Well, for the spatula, petite carver, butcher knife, slicer, cheese knife, it'd be $638 or $130 on 5 payments, and you get 4 table knives for free. How does that sound? So they might say yes, or they might say too much money. Be like, no problem. So out of those 5 knives in the shopping cart that are in the chat box, which one could you live without? And so now they can actually see the knives in the chat box and they can tell you which one they could live without. And they're like, okay, I can live without the slicer. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to copy all of them again. And I'm going to paste it, but I'm going to get rid of the one they said they don't need anymore. So now we got the new box, the new set. And I'm going to go into the Cutco orders app and I'm going to remove the slicer. And then before I show them the next price, what else do I have to do?
You already moved to the front.
Exactly. And then before I show them the price, what else do I have to do? You can cheat. You can look at page 14.
The new bonus, the cheapest knife.
You got it. And in this example, the cheapest one is the spatula spreader, right? All right, cool. So there we go. So special number 2 is $405 or $83 on 5 payments. All right, Mrs. Jones. So for the spatula spreader, the petite carver, the butcher knife, and the cheese knife, it's $405 or $83 on 5 payments. How's it sound? And at that point, they might say no, they might say yes. If they say no, no problem. Mrs. Jones, from those 4 knives, what are your 2 favorites? Cheese knife and the petite carver. So I'm going to put those back on. I'm going to copy and paste. And so I'm going to go ahead and remove the other ones. So I'm removing the butcher knife and I'm removing the spatula spreader. And so now I got a new price. Oops. So it's $246 or $84 times 3. And I can give you the ice cream scoop, cutting board, or peeler for free.
So, cutting boards for demos.
246 or 80. Okay. And if they say no to that, no problem. What a lot of customers like to do is reserve their buy now bonus and just get 1 knife. I understand that today might not be the perfect day to buy Cutco. I've had a lot of customers in your same position. So what a lot of people like to do is just buy 1 knife, and that's the trimmer. It's the utility knife. Is the knife you'll use every single day for the rest of your life. And the cool part, it's only 92, which is 51 today and 51 next month. You'd get something to use for the rest of your life, and it would really help me towards my goal. So how does that sound? Cool. All right, I'm going to pause the recording.